Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Angela Rayner is being pressured into making it much harder for tenants to get a home, or prospective tenants to get a home, should I say, because charities and organisations are pushing her to change the rules on guarantors. So if you're a landlord and a tenant comes and wants a house and you don't think they earn quite enough, you can ask them to provide a guarantor, which means if they can't make the rent, then that rent then goes over to the guarantor, who then has to pay the rent. And it's a way, I suppose, of those who are in a sort of difficult financial position to at least get a house, because they can get a friend or relative to guarantee the rent. Then as long as they make their payments, it won't matter. But if they ever run into trouble, then, they've got this backup. And landlords are often prepared to do this, providing, that the guarantor is also, of good character and able to make the payment. It means somebody who hasn't got a home can have a home. And now these organisations are saying, no, this is discriminatory. We shouldn't allow it. Because it gives landlords the power to say, oh, I don't like the look of you. Can you get a guarantor? And if they can't, well, they say, well, there you go, you can't have the house. They're saying it's a way of it gives landlords too much power to discriminate against poverty. Well, here's the thing. Landlords aren't a public service. Landlords are in it to make money. Of course they are. It's a business. Now, if the government is saying that there's not enough houses, that's up to the government. They got to build a lot more social housing. Of course, nobody wants to build social housing because they don't make any money on it. But that's another problem for the government. It's not the landlord's problem. But if you take this guarantor right away from landlords, they'll just simply say, no. But I've got the money. Yeah, but you don't have enough to throw away. I want to know that you've got at least, that the rent isn't at least a third of your income, basically. And of course, that won't be the case. And then they're going to go, but, I need a house. And I go see the government. Not my problem. Because the government took a guarantor rule away. So I can't get you to guarantor it from anyone. So no. And you're going to have all these people not getting a home. And of course, giving more rights, as it were, and removing more protections from landlords, more landlords just get out the game entirely. There'll be fewer and fewer rental properties at the same time as you need more and more rental properties. That means the ones that remain, their rents are going to go through the roof, aren't they? Standard law of supply and demand. Why sell it for less when you can sell it for more? That's how these things work. The market. But of course, we've got here is Angela Rayner. Dumb bint. Hasn't got a clue, has she? So she probably will go, oh, yeah, we'll take it away. Yeah, it's bad. Don't be divisive. And she'll end up creating homelessness. These people are so dumb. It's frightening. Now, they're afraid, you see, from dividing people by wealth for some reason. This is very odd. And as I keep saying, they think this is wrong. Oh, the poor and the rich should be treated the same. Yes, in law. But, when it comes to it, the rich are always going to have the better bread, aren't they? They're going to have the sweeter cake, the more expensive wine. That's how it is. And housing is no different. Because housing, whilst you consider it being a right, it is. Having a home is a right, I suppose. But owning your home or owning a property does not mean you have to rent it to anyone. It's very complex. What do? You can't force people to take on a risky tenant. If they can't make the rent, they can't make the rent. That's it. And of course, these credit checks that they do now, they're trying to get them banned. You shouldn't be able to do a credit check. Well, tell you what, that'll screw the banks if you're not allowed to do a credit check on anyone. I'd like a car loan, please. Certainly, let's do a credit check on you. I think you'll find that's illegal now. Ah. Well, in that case, we're not going to lend you any money. Bad, isn't it? Why are we being ruled by morons? Now, in an earlier video, I did mention that I was doing this video about sort of property credit and things. And I'm going to do this. Down in Bristol, the council are dividing the city. They're building a wall, the apartheid wall between the rich area and the poor area, Because the rich people are saying, we don't want poor people in our area. It brings down the house prices. Doesn't look nice. They smell. And the poor are saying, look at that lot. They elitist wankers. We want to go over there where it's nice. And so where you've got better facilities in the rich part, and the poor aren't being able to get in there because they're basically building this wall in the city. They're not calling it a wall, but there is a divide going up. They are building things with large brick walls on one side and very difficult to get into this area. You have to go the long way round kind of thing. So that you don't, you'd actually physically have to go there. You couldn't just accidentally wander in to the nice part and so forth. And it's the Greens, of course, that are running that council. So, interesting, isn't it? Maybe all these Greens live in the nice part. All these councillors live in the nice part, and they don't want common people going into their area. Ooh, don't want to meet the common people. No, no, no. I'm happy for them to pay their tax and give us a good wage, but damn, I don't want to speak to them or mix with them. But it's ever thus, isn't it? Money, property, division. But if you truly want housing for everybody, the government's got to start building. And they're not. Despite what Angela says. Do you know how many, social housing projects have begun under Angela Rayner so far? It's a nice round figure. It's the roundest figure of all. Thanks very much. Bye.